like it, you choose it.
It's 48 hours till the polls open.
Judgment Day Thursday.
It's about 4 days since Joe Cox was murdered.
I think it's worked in Remain's favour. That's bad to say, isn't it?
It's true, everyone knows it, really.
A lot of people, very understandably, are still emotionally raw about that awful event. Some people are talking about it as a sign that some things in our politics, in the public mood even, have gone too far.
Hey, get here!
Took all them balls down, tore them up and walked off shouting racist.
Well, you are racist if you want to vote Leave, ain't you? Well, that's what they're classing you. Stand up for me country, I do. I don't like what's happening in my country.
Because they're stealing our jobs and all this nonsense, and they're bringing in crime and terrorism. It's just nonsense.
Why is it that people that are born here and that have lived here all their life have to go without? I don't see that's fair. I'm going to be homeless. I'm going to be homeless. I've got 2 kids in my house.
What, that's looming, is it? That might happen?
Yeah. I'm unemployed. I suffer with depression. You name it, I've got it. So why am I at the bottom of the list? Why?
How do you make the country less angry?
What a question.
Yeah, big question.
I don't know. I'm not angry because I know my future's in my hands.
Some people say all this get out the EU stuff, it's divided the country and it's created this very, very sort of poisonous, hateful atmosphere.
Yeah, it has.
So if we all vote Remain on Thursday, that'll sort of still it a bit and then we can
won't.
get on with normality again.
It won't, because the problems are still going on. I don't see after Thursday that suddenly everything's going to be all right, because it's not.
There's a tendency at the moment to stereotype Leave voters as being essentially racist or bigoted in some way. You do meet some people who have pretty unpleasant opinions, but equally there are other people who want out of the European Union who aren't racist and bigoted really at all. But in either case, none of this stuff arises in a vacuum. You really got to ask yourself, what's feeding it? What's making it acceptable? It boils down to a simple enough question. Why is all this happening?
We started in Merthyr Tydfil in South Wales. It wasn't hard to find out-voters, and plenty of evidence of the kind of rhetoric many people are now saying has gone too far.
Get them out!
I never know when people are that sort of pointed and nasty, whether it's sort of authentic or whether some of that language has been put in their heads.
Fuck you all!
Have you been watching the TV coverage much of this referendum?
Load of rubbish. Because they don't tell you the truth. This is the truth out here.
What's the truth out here?
People don't want it. Something has got to change in this country. It's our country.
It's like they want a voice, and this is their voice. Vote out, and it doesn't matter what the end kind of outcome is. You know?
We've got to stay in, or we'll be skint. And we won't get nothing off the Conservatives, that's a cert. Yeah. They don't give it to us now.
So the one chance you've got to get a bit of money in South Wales is the European Union?
Yes. This town has done very well out of it. So,
I know a lot of people here want out, though.
Well, you know why, you know?
Why?
Immigrants.
Immigrants. Every day they say migrants are coming for this and that, and
Yeah, well,
the world's going to end in this or that
600,000
way.
coming in a week.
Would you believe that? You think the media, we're feeding you a pro-European line?
Absolutely, yeah.
They're all lying, aren't they?
Who's lying?
Well, all of them. The ins and the outs.
We're now on the long and winding road from South Wales to the English-Welsh borders, and already we've been reminded of one thing. Most people don't really care about what David Cameron or Boris Johnson or Jeremy Corbyn's got to say. So when the outcome of this becomes clear, it won't really be a victory for one of the official campaigns. It'll be more something that tells you where this country's going. Where we're going now is somewhere that might turn out to be rather different.
It's a nice, quiet little town.
You got much to complain about?
Not really.
How do you think opinion falls in the town?
Oh, generally for getting out.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you think that is here?
It's a country market town with old traditions and a generally conservative outlook. And I mean, London is bad enough, but Brussels is even worse.
We just come from Merthyr Tydfil, right? Loads of people there are voting out. They're voting out because they're sort of angry. I mean, with respect, you ain't got much to complain about in Leominster, really, have you?
No. We're farmers, and actually we don't really know what will happen if we vote out, because all our subsidies are paid by the EU.
And you're still voting out?
Yeah.
How do you resolve those two things, then?
A lot of trade comes in from the EU. Cheap markets, we could do without that.
You're from Poland?
Yeah, I think it's a stupid idea to England pull out of it. A union been made to unite us and not to divide, and we all should keep together.
Are you worried about it at all?
No, not really. Why would I?
Well, in case we end up leaving, I suppose.
Well, I end up going back home, that's it.
Where are these Remain voters?
Nationalism's coming back.
Yeah, it is.
It's happening in America as well. People are being more like nationalists, like get them out.
Yeah,
We're gonna stay here, save our money, and
I keep meeting angry people.
yeah, I think there's hope. There's always hope, but I don't. At the moment, it's looking very kind of divided. It makes me feel nervous.
The Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn and his shadow cabinet are appealing to the whole Labour movement to get behind the campaign for Britain to remain in the European Union. At a rally in London this lunchtime,
As with cricket players and traffic wardens, this is the kind of journalism that's very weather dependent. So we're sitting here in a torrential thunderstorm downpour, waiting to get out into the nitty-gritty of Birmingham. In or out?
Out.
It's too much recession here, too much crowd, like no cleaning here.
No jobs for English peoples.
But you're not from England originally.
No,
right?
I'm here nearly 40 years.
UK need to be separate country. People doing 7 days like myself, paying a tax. If somebody else in Europe, they don't working and eating my money, why? The England money need to be used in England.
This has become an accepted cliche that in areas characterised by high levels of immigration, going back years, people are all right with immigration.
They call it diversity, but you see, at the end of the day, majority of the people who are talking about it, they're not living in it, so they don't know what it's like. You understand me?
And what is it like?
There is good and there is bad.
Yeah, a lot of people is out of jobs, you know, due to, they say a lot of the European, they come in, they get in the jobs, etc. Especially house. You know, most of the landlords, them here, them have all 5, 6, you know, 3 family living in one house, you know, but, you know, so they're making more monies. But I always say, better we stay, man, because everyone is here already. They are doing their business. I have no grudge, you know. I don't have a clue, man. I'm just a simpleton, waiting patiently. Yeah.
I meet a lot of angry people
Yes.
doing this.
I'm angry too, but I'm not showing it.
What are you angry about?
Everything, life in itself, being unemployed, standing here at the bookie, drinking a bottle of Guinness. You think I really want to be here, standing here talking to you? No. I'd rather be leaving work now.
So why not just vote out and shake something up?
No, but if you vote out and shake something up, then you're still going to end up a double loser again.
So people who aren't doing too well now, if we leave, it'll be even worse.
Thank you. Even the middle class are going to feel it as well.
Really starting to get a sense now of how, like all referendums, this one is about much more than what's on the ballot paper.
David Cameron was clear. There are very few times when he and the Labour leader, the SNP, Lib Dems, Greens and Ulster Unionist Party are on the same side of an argument.
When politics works a little bit better than it does now, I think from politicians, people had a firmer sense of the future and some measure of optimism. I mean, the best that Remain seem to be able to offer is, if you vote to leave, it'll be even worse than it is already. And leave, just sort of shrug and say, well, we don't know what's going to happen either, but it's worth a punt.
We chanced upon somewhere you'd expect to find people with a more optimistic sense of the future. A graduate recruitment fair at Manchester University.
What's your sort of feeling about the future?
Right now, uncertain, but I think that's quite good.
I'm feeling quite optimistic. I think it's going to be great.
Do you?
Yeah.
If I was to ask you what mood do you think the country's in right now?
Gloomy.
Yeah, it's
but purely because of the referendum that's going on, though.
I think it's quite bleak at the moment.
And I think that we get a lot of benefits. For example, the fact that we can travel to different places without a visa, the fact that we have things cheap like mobile phones, anything from the EU. I think it's just a good thing to be part of.
I don't understand any beneficial reason to leave at all.
This is very, very different from just about everywhere we've been so far. Do you understand why some people are voting out?
Yeah, I do. I can see why people think that the EU has a hold on our policies.
And if they're angry about things, too much immigration, not enough jobs?
In general, I'd say, you know what, we live in the 21st century, get with it.
I'm having a moment here. It's partly because I'm tired, but also I've got quite a vivid sense of what inequality means in practice here. Because I feel that those people we met in Merthyr are at the bottom of a great big escalator down there that's not working, and these people are getting on an escalator which is going up at speed.
A 10-minute drive from central Manchester is Collyhurst.
Collyhurst is coming up again. It's a really nice place to live, but we do need more money spent on it.
It did get a bit rough, and then we all joined a committee over there
got it all sorted out, and it's absolutely great now.
This is actually one of the most deprived neighbourhoods in the country, so these people can't really be dismissed as moaners or people who are somehow politically backward.
I fear for the kids, for my grandkids and that, you know what I mean?
What are you scared about?
Jobs and things like that, and the schooling. So I want to pull out.
I'm looking at immigration. You know, I studied environmental health, and I can't even get a job. As a person who came into the UK 15, 16 years ago, I've seen the change. I know what is happening. I've been there. It's affected me. But the thing is, I'm pulling out.
My mum had her weight there, God rest her soul.
In
You
the
know
pub?
what I mean? In the Bill of Greens, yeah. It's just, look.
It needs sprucing up.
It does need sprucing up, liveling up. You know what I mean? You don't see anything anymore. Nothing for the kids to play on.
Yet, booming, thriving Manchester's only 10 minutes drive down there.
Yeah.
Why does that happen?
Money talks.
Last question. How are you voting in this referendum?
Out.
They're all voting in town.
Of course they will. They've got that.
It's down to a very simple thing for you. Those who have money vote which way?
To stay in.
And those who don't have money?
Vote out.
Well, you could argue that's a bit reductive. That has occurred to me several times on this trip. You know, this country's in a pretty messed up state. We've got a media which hasn't really done this question any justice. We've got politicians nobody trusts, and we've got all sorts of divisions. It's really not the greatest time to throw at the country this very simple binary question. Not only do I have no sense of what's going to happen, but I have no real sense of what the hell is coming next. I'll get a sense really of how the place is doing, jobs and opportunities wise and all that.
A lot of shit, mate.
Is it?
Yeah.
Dead?
We lost the potteries, we lost the steelworks, the miners.